Okay, so welcome to this second tutorial for Elsa cape number 2. I'm using the same pattern pieces as I used before, except a different fabric. The fabric that I bought to do the cape I got from a store on Etsy, that's etsy.com, and it was from this seller called Gem Boyd Craft, and they sell it in yards and it comes from China, and I bought 4 yards altogether, but it will depend on obviously how tall you are, how long you want it, etc. So obviously make sure you account for that, but that's where I got my fabric from. Okay, so here I have 2 capes put together. The other one is the old cape from version number 1, and I've put it upside down so that the part that had the glitter pattern on before is now facing down. So then all the seams inside the old cape are facing inwards, like so here. So basically, the idea I've got in mind is, because I really want to protect this new fabric because it's very expensive and delicate, I had this idea to use the old one as sort of a protector for when you're walking along that can be detached and cleaned. So that was the plan, and my mum has spent the last hour wrestling trying to line up my seams because I couldn't do it. You're supposed to laugh there. Okay. Right, so at the top here you can see it's a little bit longer than the inside. There's going to be a strip of bias across the top, which eventually will have some Velcro on it, and will Velcro to the bodice instead. And this cape will actually have poppers on it to keep it in place, which we'll get to obviously as we go along this tutorial of cape version number 2. Okay, the next stage doing this is to put on some of these, well, poppers, or some people call them press-studs, like so. Sorry, they just come apart like that. Now you want to remember to overlap this by at least a good couple of centimetres so it's overlapping the old cape underneath. And I've sewn a popper here, and then one on every seam, one in the middle, there and there. It's really hard to get it to line up exactly, but you just have to do your best. So that's the next thing I've done, and this is so that later on you can take it apart, and if you need to wash this you can do. Before we do anything else, you want to turn the end of your bias in. So that's why you always leave a little bit extra as well. And I'm literally just doing that and then turning it to the inside like so. So then it's, sorry, so then it's nice and neat on the outside there. So literally just turn that over like so, and then do some little whipping catching stitches across the top there and across the bottom to hold it shut. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is we'll eventually sew on some Velcro strips, and I'm just showing you here the placement where they're going to be. I'm going to have one there, 2 each side of the centre back, and another one on the end here. And I didn't have any Velcro that was narrow enough, but I had some wider stuff, but you can always cut it down so it's basically about half the width, so there's always that option. Next we want to attach those pieces of Velcro in those sections I showed you earlier onto the inside here. Now Velcro, as you know, has two sections. It has a softer counterpart on the top, and the bottom is rough where the loops are. So you've got the soft and you've got your rough. So what I recommend is that you put the softer side to your Velcro on here so it doesn't keep catching the cape, because this will keep catching the net and eventually tear it. So use the softer side that you're going to sew on where they've been placed here. I've now sewn on the Velcro pieces onto the other side of the bias, and now you can see what's happening here. So we've got the poppers earlier, and then just across that you've got your Velcro, and I've sewn one there, and one in the middle there, another one there with a slight gap, and then one on the end there. The next thing I've gone ahead and done is, although it's just really difficult to do, I've tried my best to line up the two sections, the outer cape and the under cape, which is the old cape, and line those up, because the idea was to put some poppers on to keep the shape of the cape. It also protects the cape from getting dirty as well, so that was the main idea. So on all the corners, here, 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 I haven't done one there, and here, and here, and halfway along the centre one on the train, and one in the corner is another one of these poppers. So now this train can be totally detachable all over. And you just snap that on and then it holds those together. As I say, I've done one in all the corners. Then on the big piece I've done one halfway here, so it just helps hold it together a bit better. So there's some good things that come of this. It obviously helps to protect the outer fabric, and it helps keep its shape a lot better, because on its own this mesh was a bit slinky. And also I think with the blue underneath as well from the old cape, it keeps that nice blue colour as well. So if you want to go for this option, you would have to make up 2 different capes, but as I already had my old one, it was there to use already. So now I've done that, the next thing I've got to do is you have to then line up these with your corset, which I'll show you now. Okay, so you can see here we've matched the pieces of Velcro up to the sections here. You will need to try this on, have somebody put some marks. You can just see we've got some marks here where they've got to go to line up on you. So that's the next thing to do, is to put it on properly and have somebody line these up with the corresponding strips here. And then obviously then you just try and sew them down. Now obviously this wasn't the option we went for to start with, because we had poppers, but we've had to basically just catch it with some thread all the way around, being very careful, because obviously we've got metal boning in here as well. so you need to be careful of that. It does make it twice as hard doing it this way. If I was doing this from scratch, I probably would have not put all the sequins on the top and sewn the Velcro through and then maybe continue putting the rest of the sequins on after, but we don't have that option, so a thimble also comes in useful as well. So then what will happen, okay, so now what will happen is, I've got my corset on, just pretending here. This piece of cape then will go underneath, like so, and then it will just catch onto the Velcro there. And obviously this will be doing a lot better when it's actually on me, but then it creates a nice neat edge at the top there, and it will all fold underneath where you can't see it and secure with the Velcro. Then, as I say, with the poppers you put on earlier down there on the cape, you can take those off and then you can wash the cape that's underneath whenever you need to. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this quick remake. Obviously see the description box below the video for information on how everything's made, and thank you very much for watching. Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial of making my Elsa cape. You can see here it's all finished. I'm just going to walk you through this now in this video how we made it. This is a remake. As you know, I've already made the cape, which is underneath, it's the old one, and I decided that I wasn't really happy with it, so I hope you enjoy this little walkthrough of the remake of this cape. Okay everyone, I'm just going to do the walk for the video, just so you can see it all twinkling and sparkling and everything. So just a quick walk and then we'll wrap this up. Yes, I know I've got my slippers on. For any comments? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial video and what I've done with the cape and the new fabric. And thank you very much for watching. Bye!